along with our other colleagues who played very important roles, made it possible for this moment to come. So I begin by thanking them for creating that tone. I'd be remiss as well if I didn't also thank other people who are critically important in all of this. Kent Conrad, certainly, and Max Baucus were invaluable. Jack Reed and my committee, Chuck Schumer, played a very important role, as well as the House leadership. I know they're not done yet, but Barney Frank did a great job, as well as, of course, the Republican leadership on the side of the House. I know we're working at all of this. The statistics and the things we're talking about, obviously, are the credit crunch and talking about the numbers, what's happened on Wall Street, the Dow moving around every day, what the credit markets are doing, all of these statistics. The people are mentioning the effects of this on Wall Street, foreclosures. But there's something even more profound and more serious about today than all of these numbers and statistics which are bandied about. And it's the most important thing that we can do as a Congress, and that is to restore America's confidence and its optimism and its belief that their institutions of government can respond in a moment like this. Maybe more than anything else we've done today, my hope is that that sense of confidence and optimism and belief that America can be back on its feet again. We can solve this problem and offer that sense of hope that tomorrow can be a better day. We haven't done it all here, obviously. There are a lot of things to come. There's not going to be a blossoming tomorrow afternoon or Friday with the economy. We've got many, many difficult months ahead to get this right. But none of that could happen without the decision today. And so the journey in front of us is going to be difficult and long. But I think America tonight, I hope, saw Congress, saw a United States Senate, acting in the way that our forebears and the founders intended it to act. And I'm deeply proud to have been a part of this moment.
John. Well, the ground's been covered, but let me add to it a little bit. It was a pleasant and extraordinary experience to participate in this effort to address a crisis which the American people are about or were about to confront, and which we hopefully have alleviated to a significant degree. It came about because the institution of the Senate stepped up in a mature and responsible way under the leadership of Senator Reid and Senator McConnell and said, we are not going to allow partisanship. We are not going to allow differences which are real and substantive to divide us in this effort to pull together and come up with a solution to a problem which we all recognize is critical and which, if it isn't addressed, will lead to severe disruption of the lives of all Americans, especially those on Main Street. I have to hold out special thanks to Chris Dodd. He was the chairman of this exercise. He chaired the committee, the meetings we had. He was always fair. He was always open. He heard everybody's opinions, and he pushed us towards resolutions which would allow us to come out of the room knowing that all the concerns had been addressed. And interestingly enough, in this effort, they were addressed in a very positive way, and I don't think anybody left that room not feeling that we had improved the bill and that the issues which they were sent there for their constituencies had been effectively resolved and moved forward. Senator Baucus put an idea on the table early on that helped a lot on one of the most critical issues, which was how we deal with excessive compensation. So his role was also critical. On our side of the aisle, Bob Corker and Bob Bennett played an immense role in basically being the support for the efforts in the negotiations. So, you know, this is the way government's supposed to work, folks, and it did. And I think we can take a little pride in that. Thank you.
Next, if you'd like to say a word.
Yeah, I think that we have turned the corner tonight with the Senate vote. I think that now the House will vote in favor of this legislation, and we as a country are going to begin to pull ourselves back together again in addressing this crisis. This vote tonight, I think, is the turning point. And looking back on what happens, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months or several years from now, the vote will be tonight's vote here in the United States Senate. I'm very, very proud that we as a Senate faced this challenge and looked it straight in the eye, and we helped resolve it. I'll make a couple other points here. We in the Senate, of course, do not like to have this thrust in our laps, this financial crisis that is caused by Wall Street and just a lot of lax regulations and in many respects, frankly, greedy practices. But we had to step up to it. We had to help solve it. We then took the proposal by the administration and we looked at it. And we said, That's not what we're going to pass here. That's not right for the American people. And as you've heard tonight, working together as a team, again, led by Leader Reid and McConnell and by Chris Dodd and Judd Gregg, as a team, we sat down together, bipartisan basis, and said to the administration, this is going to work, going to make these changes, this is going to be right for American people, limiting executive comp, stronger oversight, better protects American taxpayers, and again, as a team, bipartisan basis, we stepped up to it and found a good resolution with the administration. And as a separate branch of government, that's a responsibility, and I'm very proud of what we did, and this is going to mark the time when we've turned the corner, and we will begin to see this financial crisis beginning to abate.
We're going to take no questions.
Going to hold hearing, Senator Dodd?